Hey, I'm Charlie Isaacs, CTO for Customer Connection for Salesforce, and you're watching Sachin on the Ochakde Show.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ochakde Show. We are Silicon Valley's first business, tech, and self-improvement podcast for teens, hosted by a teen me. My name is Sachin Syal, and I am a 19-year-old award-winning entrepreneur, podcaster, author, and student from the Bay Area, and I interview remarkable and influential entrepreneurs, executives, investors, leaders, and just inspiring people from all walks of life so we can learn from their stories and level up ourselves. I'm also the co-founder and CMO of 3doshas.com. This is a coaching company based on yoga and Ayurveda that I started with my family. And if you're curious why I started this show, the purpose of the show is to inspire you to go for it, which is what my merch here says, Ochakde, and it's a Punjabi word, it means go for it. And I hope that's what you do, and I hope you follow all your dreams. Today, our very special guest is the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Charlie Isaacs, who is Vice President.
Legend in my own mind. Go ahead.
No, not in your own mind. I mean, legend for a lot. I mean, in the tech world especially, he's the Vice President and CTO for Customer Connection at Salesforce. What Charlie does is he rapidly promotes a company's future and vision on the world's easiest and most powerful platform for change, and owes his success. This is really interesting. This is really beautiful, heartwarming to see actually. But if you look at his LinkedIn headline, he says quote for quote that he owes his success to his amazing wife and the Salesforce Ohana. We're in the Salesforce headquarters right now in the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco. So this is as Silicon Valley as it gets, right? Look at the view from here. This is
It's a little bit foggy, but what do you expect from San Francisco, right?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I even got to be here, it's been a dream of mine to ever come in this building. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, I'm living the dream here at Salesforce in San Francisco, that's for sure.
We truly are. A little bit more about Charlie before we get right to the interview. He holds a BS in electrical and computer engineering and computer science from UCSB. And then he also earned an MBA from California Lutheran University. So welcome to the show, Charlie. How are you, and what is new and exciting?
Well, thank you for including me in your show. I'm honored to be here.
Of course.
I've watched your other podcasts, some of them anyway, and you're amazing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words, especially coming from you. I want to rewind a bit. The show's for teens. Tell me about your teen years. What were you into? What were you passionate about? And what drew you to tech?
Okay, wow. It started off I got into tech in high school, and I had a teacher. Actually, we took a shop class. That's how I really got started.
Okay.
When I was in elementary school, and in the shop class, in the back of the lab, there was a special place where they had. We used to call them integrated circuits, but now they're chips, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We called them chips too, but there was a whole lab in the back of the corner of the lab, and we were building stuff made out of wood. So one day the professor, the teacher, didn't show up in time. So that's a bad thing to do when you're in eighth grade, right? So there was a table with a whole bunch of electronic components on it, and a power supply. And what is a young kid gonna do? I used to take apart everything when I was very young, right? To see how things worked. And there were LEDs on the table, and I attached the LEDs to the power supply, and I wanted to see at what threshold I can get the LED to turn on, right? And that was cool. So I was able to figure out that like around 4 volts, I can get the LED to turn on.
Yeah.
And so I said, let's do an experiment. How much current can we push through this LED? And I cranked the sucker up to 11. Okay. That's an old movie joke. And the top blew off of the LED.
Oh no, that's not fun.
And I said, whoa, that was pretty cool. And it made a popping sound. Oh, that's, there's a whole table full of these LEDs, right? So, hey, well, let's see if we can shoot them across the room.
Reminds me of snap circuits. I used to play with that as a kid.
There we go.
Yeah.
And guess who busted me as I was doing that? Well, the electronics teacher walked in, right? Not the shop teacher who was late and didn't, but the electronics teacher came in and said, what are you doing? I said, well, I've tested the threshold of these LEDs, and it appears to be 7.2, whatever it was, on the power supply. He says, okay, great. Well, not only do you have detention, but you're going to be reading. I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
on integrated circuits and technology, and you're going to read the entire book, and you're going to tell me what you think you did wrong and why you thought the threshold. And I want to report on that. And he didn't think that I'd ever, he figured I'd sit there and goof off.
Yeah.
So
that's what I would do.
So I totally got into.
That's so cool.
He meant it to be as like a punishment for me, but at the same time, he saw the potential in me, right? So he took a chance on me. By the way, kids out there, don't do what I did, right? Don't do bad stuff and expect good things to happen out of it. But this professor was able to leverage that situation and make something good out of it, and I learned about it, and that took me on a whole new path in my life. So anyway, my teenage years. So that I got into electronics after that, and I started building. They never had a digital watch. We take them for granted. I built a digital watch out of integrated circuits.
Oh, wow.
And then I used to do sailboat racing, and we took the digital watch. You had to do a countdown timer on a boat to count down from the start. So you count down 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and start. So I built one, this big, huge shoebox, and took it on the boat, and we were timing our races, and everybody else had to use like an analog watch. This is how old I am, right? We never had digital watches.
You're not that old.
Yeah, okay, I'm pretty old. And so I built this, and we took it on the boat. So I really got into it, and I knew I wanted to be an engineer. That's what I did during my teenage years.
That's such a fascinating story of how you got into tech. I mean, I think it was just so wholesome that you even still remember that teacher. Most people, they don't have a memory of
Donald Walker.
Donald Walker. I remember the name too.
Yeah, amazing guy.
Did you ever connect afterwards?
I did. I followed up. They say you can't go back, and I lost touch with him many years later. But hoping he's still around and kicking. But I don't know.
He probably is. It's just such a cool story. I love how it feels like you've been so passionate, the same way you're passionate right now about robots, AI, tech, Salesforce. I feel like you've had this since you were my age. So it's inspiring to see this. I thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh no, you brought up robots. You don't want to talk about robots.
Oh, that's the next question.
Okay.
You just went to Dreamforce.
Right.
Enlighten us. Tell us about the robots. Tell us about everything.
Okay, so did anybody go to Dreamforce? Well, we had 40,000, 50,000 of our closest friends there.
Yeah.
And we had 1 million online. But we also had 28 robot friends.
I saw.
At Dreamforce.
Saw your video on LinkedIn talking to one.
Yeah, okay, so that was a humanoid robot.
Yep.
That's Figure AI.
Yep. And
it was a Figure 2, a second generation Figure. And Mark Benioff and Brett Adcock, the CEO of Figure, were on stage at Dreamforce with all 3 robots, generation 1, 2, and 3. That was you have to watch that. It's available online. And we were able to front end a Figure robot with what we call Agentforce, okay? And not only Agentforce, but Agentforce Voice. Agentforce Voice is a capability that allows you to take any large language model, integrate it securely to the enterprise, and make pretty much anything in the world talk. So we walked by a Bevy water cooler on the way up here.
Yeah.
Talking robots, great. It's a robot. Yeah, sure, it can talk. But a water cooler? Why would a water cooler talk?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? After a while, the water,
That's so cool.
Okay, so a water cooler, what does it have inside of it? It has like a filter.
Yeah.
And how do you know when it's time to change a filter? Well, so maybe an error message comes up on the screen, error code 123, or maybe it'll say time to change the water filter, right?
Yeah.
So why not have the ability to, and by the way, this is going to be the future.
I agree.
Everything is going to be talking. Every product is going to be talking because the cost of microphones, the cost of speakers are diminishing rapidly, right? How you could buy a speaker and a microphone for practically nothing nowadays and connect it to any device. You could also connect Wi-Fi to any device. So when you have a speaker, a microphone, and Wi-Fi, what do you have? Well, you have Agentforce Voice, front-ending any product you want, and you can talk to it. So why would you want to talk to your water cooler? Well, error code 123, that's useless, right? Or on your car dashboard, your flashing engine light comes on. why not have it tell you exactly what's wrong with it, and not only that, how to fix it.
Yeah.
And then interact with that capability. Let's say, oh, Bevy water cooler. Hey, I see your filter is getting low. Would you like me to order a new water filter for you? And you say, yes. Okay, what is your passcode? And then if you're the supervisor in charge of that water cooler, you say yes. And then you authenticate in, and it orders you a new filter, and it shows up on your doorstep. Or, hey, there's a problem. I need to troubleshoot this device, this Bevy water cooler. Here, let me show you how to do it. By the way, you need an over-the-air update. Let me push an update to your water cooler that's going to fix all your problems, right? So interacting is cool when you're typing to something or when you're pushing buttons on a screen. But why not be able to talk to it, right?
Yeah.
So with our new Agentforce voice that not only enabled that robot, that figure AI robot to talk, it gave it the ability to be intelligent and also know about me. So the use case about the robot. So I go in there, and by the way, this is Mark Benioff.
Yeah.
Mark Benioff is our CEO, and he's an amazing visionary. I mean, he literally texted me one day and said, Charlie, we need a humanoid robot checking people in at Dreamforce and answering their questions about Dreamforce, right?
Yeah.
And that was his text message to me. So guess what? That created the whole vision behind robots at Dreamforce.
Awesome.
So we knew just one statement from Mark, and a whole group of people got together and built robotic enablement on Agentforce, and not only that, Agentforce voice. So the actual robot interacted with you. I scanned my badge, and guess what? So why is Salesforce involved with this, right? Well, we have what we call CRM. It's customer relationship management. It's about managing the customer. So not only does it know about me as an employee, it knows about any customer with a Dreamforce badge.
Yeah.
So you scan your Dreamforce badge, it knows who you are.
Yeah, it said your name. I remember when you scanned it, you asked it for a picture, and then it said, sure thing, Charlie or something. I knew your name. Yeah.
Yep. It did a lookup on the back end event system, and we have this thing called Data 360.
Nice.
And Data 360 stores all that information. So any information you could possibly imagine associated with your customer, including what event I'm attending, FAQs about Dreamforce, how many sessions are there today in my area of interest. So when you saw me interacting with that figure robot via voice, that's what it was doing. It went out to the back end, retrieved the information from Salesforce back end, running Data 360, and retrieving the information and speaking it back to me. And not only can we interact with Salesforce in the back end, we have this product called MuleSoft that is an API bridge to pretty much anything in the universe.
Wow, that sounds pretty bold.
Yeah, it's pretty bold. I say universe, but because it's coming.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later too if you want.
Sure.
But when you have MuleSoft connected to some things that it was connected to, like the weather, okay? Because we want to be able to have people ask, what's the weather in San Francisco today? And it go out to the weather API. And by the way, everything I'm telling you all, you could build. You could build all this stuff now,
That's
right?
True. It's an exciting time to be alive. You
could even ask AI. We have one of the announcements we made at Dreamforce was jive coding. And I'm sure a lot of...
I've heard of vibe coding.
I'm sorry. I had jive on my... vibe coding. Oh my gosh. Can we cut that out of the...
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding. So vibe coding. So I don't know why I said jive.
No, even it's fine.
Okay.
It's not a really... vibe is a really Gen Z sort of word.
Yeah.
Everyone says the vibes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's a new
vibe.
thing.
Yeah, I get the vibe. I didn't have the vibe. That's why I said jive. Okay, so I was jive talking, but jive vibe. That's what I was talking about.
That's what you meant. That's what you meant.
Okay, so you can vibe code pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Including our own vibe code platform.
Yeah.
And that allows me to build. We have these things called Lightning Web Components, which is a UI, and you say I want a UI that does this and that, and you tell it what you want it to look like, and it'll actually build a screen for you. So it's getting easier and easier. But by the way, one of the reasons I've been at Salesforce for 13 years is because there's no other platform that I could work on where I could rapidly prototype. As part of my role as CTO for Customer Connection, everybody from Mark Benioff at the top down to just a normal salesperson will say, hey, my customer wants to do this. This is their vision for the future. Or can you build a vision for my customer? My customer is in the roofing business or in the automotive business. What could you build for my customer that would take them into the future? And guess what? We could build on Salesforce. We could build that stuff immediately. We could build it today. And sure, it's a rapid prototype, but whatever we build, have you heard the term art of the possible?
I think I have.
Okay, so there's this term called art of the possible. So people are building things that are possible, maybe in the future, but on our Salesforce platform, we can build the art of the actual. So what can actually be implemented? So that Figure AI vision for connecting a robot, which wasn't even on the market at the time, it was barely on the market. How do we enable that via voice? Well, that's the art of the possible. No, it's art of the actual, because we actually got it running in 2 months at Dreamforce.
Wow. I saw all the videos on YouTube. Hopefully one day I can go in person to the actual event. But I saw all your videos. I always go to my mom, dad, brother. Yo, guys, look at this video Charlie from Salesforce posted with you and the robot. It's just really awesome stuff. So thank you for sharing that with the audience. I'm curious, for teens who are slightly familiar with tech, but they want to understand it a little more. What exactly does it mean to be the Vice President and CTO for Customer Connection at Salesforce? Like, what is your role and what responsibilities do you have?
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit of that already. So when I meet with a customer, like we have this thing called the Salesforce Innovation Center. And that's right one floor below the Ohana floor that we tried to get up to today, but it was closed for our Peace and Joy event, right?
This is beautiful too, right?
Yeah, this is a beautiful floor. Every floor is beautiful at Salesforce. And what we did was, so whenever I have an SIC with a customer, I try to do some research on what they're doing right now and try to find opportunities for them to grow. Not only currently, but into the next. What could we deliver to them next year that would really be a game changer for them? What would differentiate them from their competition? So the idea is to, as I mentioned earlier, to build the art of the actual. And I do that for customers on a day-to-day basis. I've been focusing a lot lately on what we call digital twins. And for your audience...
Digital twins, I haven't heard of that.
Okay, a digital twin is a virtual representation of a physical object. So I've built digital twins for everything from cars, like we had a customer here yesterday, Mahindra. We have some of the largest car companies, like Nissan's one of our customers. So I built digital twins of the vehicle. So you visualize the vehicle or the robot on a screen like Omniverse. Omniverse is a virtual reality platform. Unity is a gaming platform, right? Have you heard of Omniverse? Okay,
both of them.
That's from NVIDIA, one of our great partners and customers. And I can do things like what if scenarios. Okay, what happens if, here, I'm going to see what workflow I can build in Salesforce based upon this digital twin. So what's an example of that? Okay, here's a vehicle. What happens if the windows are rolled down? Remember that weather API I was talking to you about earlier? Okay. So I should be able to integrate that weather API into a virtual reality view of that vehicle and say, oh, the windows are rolled down, right? And that sensor information, just like on your car app right now, if you have a Mercedes, which you all probably don't have, maybe your parents have a Mercedes. I know BMW has it. There are car apps right now that already have the sensors being fed into their, and in some cases, those are our Salesforce customers that have enabled that capability. But if you have the sensors coming from the windows going into your cloud, and you're also integrating the weather, what can you do with that? Use your imagination out there. What can you do? Well, I can say, what happens if it's about to rain and I've got my windows rolled down? Well, I want to send a notification to the customer, which is what we're about, right? We're the customer relationship management platform, but we're wider than that.
Yeah.
We're about how do you bridge between devices, products, and everything else to the customer? How do you improve the customer experience, right?
Yep.
So my customer experience would be greatly enhanced and improved if I were able to get a notification that said, hey, it's about to rain. Would you like me to roll up your windows for you?
Yeah.
And I say yes, and the windows go up, right? And guess what? That saves a wet car or a carpool. Get it? Sorry, bad dad joke. Right?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's actually funny. That's a good dad joke.
Okay.
I wanted to move on to the next question. By the way, hopefully, if the show takes off, I will have a Mercedes one day. Fingers crossed.
There we go. Let's get that show to take off.
Thank you. No, thank you for your support. I'm curious, what trends in generative AI do you think will have the biggest impact on the future of CRM and customer service?
Oh, I talked about it a little bit already.
You did.
Yeah. Connecting voice to which ChatGPT is already doing. There's already a voice interface, but taking
and Gemini has a voice
Gemini,
interface.
yeah. So everybody has a voice interface now, but taking the voice integration to the next level, and also being able to enable anything and everything with large language models. Because right now it's on your phone, right?
Yeah.
It's limited. There's some really cool smart glass companies right now.
Meta glasses.
Well, Meta glasses, to my knowledge, I tried.
Nice.
They don't have an API yet. I need a smart glass with an API.
Someone's probably working on it.
Yeah. So there's an open source company I'm working with called Mentra OS, right? And they have a cool smart connected glass implementation. But those glasses should be feeding you information about
these ones right here.
Yeah.
These are just normal prescription glasses. But if these were more tech, they would have like the cameras on the side.
Yeah. Well, and it's not really there yet.
It's getting there though. Other people are working on it. I just feel like it's so cool that a lot of the stuff that people think was impossible only 5 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, is all happening right now because of the AI revolution and the tech boom and all these amazing companies like Salesforce. I think it's really fascinating. I have one interesting question for you. It's kind of a silly one.
Okay.
If you could wave a magic wand and give every organization one capability that would improve customer experience overnight, what would it be and why?
Oh, come on, that's a softball question. I already mentioned it, Agentforce. I mean,
I knew you were going to say that, but I wanted to see what you were going to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have like our own website is powered by
Agentforce is amazing. Even when we came to the lobby and we saw all the Agentforce stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
So we're answering millions of questions.
Yeah.
I think the number's up to 6 million questions and escalations responded to on our Agentforce customer service website. We're using agents everywhere internally in our organization. We're customer zero.
Yeah.
There's a term we use, customer zero, means we're the first customer for our products. And we're leveraging Agentforce for everything from, and I keep hoping that I should probably just dispatch one. I'm hoping a robot will walk by here because we actually have.
Oh, that could happen right now?
Yeah, we have.
Wow.
If you propped a door open, we have what we call a Cobalt robot. There's a manufacturer called Cobalt.
If we have time, maybe you can show me some of the robots.
Okay, we'll have to go find one.
Sounds good.
Or maybe if we leave a door open.
Sure.
But the Cobalt robot is running on Agentforce, and it's also running on Agentforce Voice. So if you prop a door open in the Salesforce Tower, and we also have it running in the Seattle Tower too. Mm-hmm. So alarm will go off, and we have this thing called Salesforce Field Service. By the way, robots, back on robots again, I'm sorry. People are going to be bored of robots. So.
Robots are so exciting. Who gets bored of robots?
Yeah, so we use robots when it's dangerous, dirty, or dull.
Have you seen one here in this Salesforce Tower?
Yeah. So we have...
so you can be casually just on your computer sipping coffee and a robot walks up?
Of course. So they're like 12, I think we have 12 robots in the tower.
Wow.
And so what's going to happen is if you prop the door open, it's going to, a case is created in Service Cloud, and a work order is created, and we have this thing called Salesforce Field Service, and the robot is scheduled immediately to go check the door out because there's an alarm. And it'll talk to if the person is propping the door open, it'll talk to the person and say, hey, dude,
That's so cool.
Why are you propping this door open? Could you let it go, let the door go? And if it's actually jammed, it's got a little peg arm that lifts up and down, and it could push the handicap button,
Oh, that's so cool.
and it'll reset the door. And then,
that's really innovative.
But then it's all about humans and robots working together. I didn't mention that before because we were talking about the figure robot.
Yeah.
And it was answering questions from a human. But our Boston Dynamics dogs, for example,
that's the one on your computer right there, right?
Yeah, there's one on my computer, and there are videos up there from Dreamforce that show the Spot the dog running around. But that is those dogs mainly do the dirty and dangerous.
Have you seen that funny video where some guy made the dogs and they put all the tech people with their faces on it? Did you see that video? All the billionaires, it was really funny.
No,
it was like a project someone did, but it was exactly with those dogs.
Yeah. So people are doing interesting things with those dogs. So anyway, the Cobalt robot, get back to working with humans and robots hand in hand. The Cobalt robot will actually create a work order.
Mm-hmm.
If it can't clear the door, it'll dispatch the human, right? And say, hey, human, come down and help me because I can't figure out what's wrong with this door. And the door might be broken.
Yeah.
And if the door is broken, then they need to bring the right tool, right? So our field service capability will dispatch the field service technician, and it will that person will have the tool that they need to fix the door. It'll have the instructions, and maybe one day they'll be wearing the glasses, and it'll feed them information on how to fix that door, right? So
that would be cool.
The Spot Boston Dynamics robots that were running at Dreamforce had a couple different use cases, but one had an arm so it could turn a valve, turn off the emergency shutoff valve, and take pictures. If something's heated up, then take an infrared camera picture or take a still camera picture, and then analyze the gauge using AI. So
I love how you mentioned, I feel like what you said is such a beautiful thing where you have humans working in harmony and collaborating with robots. I feel like you're someone in the tech world, in the tech space that is super, I could say, bullish or enthusiastic or passionate, and you love AI and tech and robots. What would you say to someone that's a little worried right now that the job might be taken away or robots are going to take over the world and humans are no longer going to exist? What do you want to say to that?
Okay, so you shouldn't be worried as long as you're learning, okay? I mean, I'm an old dude, okay?
Okay.
And I take it upon myself to learn something new, like practically every day. That's why I love working with leading edge customers, because I'm forced to learn about newer technologies. Like I was working with a roofing company, right? And there are technologies out there that allow you to scan videos, right? So I need to be able to scan a video and then analyze if the roof is damaged or not. So we work with NVIDIA, one of our partners, to leverage their AI. That's all new stuff for me, right? I'm learning something brand new.
You learn new stuff every day on the job. That's
right.
That's what life is all about, to be honest. You keep learning new things and try to make today better than yesterday.
Yeah, and my recommendation would be, if you're not learning something, if you've gone to bed at night and you don't feel like you've learned something, and by the way, a good friend and colleague, Vala Afshar, he's very prolific on Twitter, or X or whatever, and he likes to say that, by the way, you're never the smartest person in the room, and if you think you are, you're in the wrong room.
I've heard that quote, and I love that quote.
Yeah, and
it's well said. It's pretty spot on.
I think I agree with that philosophy that you should be learning something new from the people you interact with, and it's so easy to learn stuff online and get taught
especially
online,
with the internet, right?
With the internet.
It's so cute. It's so funny when the internet came out. My parents were younger. They said that people said, "Oh my God, you can learn so much." And now that AI is here, it's quadrupled the impact of how much you can learn.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I did a little bit of, when I was doing research and I was preparing for this interview, I looked at a lot of your social media accounts, and you love your family a lot. You give a lot of credit to your success to your wife, and I think 3 of your profile pictures have you on all your grandkids. Why is family so important to you, and do you think it's helped you in your career?
Immensely. I mean, when I have and it rarely happens when I have a bad day or I think I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
Okay, time to visit the grandkids, right?
It's
My
sure
my wife is not only forgiving, but she just keeps me going, right? And we actually do brainstorming sessions in the car
Nice.
on the way to our grandkids. Like,
Nice.
we'll hop in the car. Our grandkids are 45 minutes away.
Okay.
Right. And I did a prototype with the customer called Bombardier. Okay, this is all public information, so I'm not disclosing any secrets.
Okay.
So I built, and by the way, this is a predecessor to what became Agentforce. And Bombardier wanted the ability to, when they left a high-profile client, they sell jets, right? So you're probably going to be pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
And could you imagine you get a visit from me? Let's say I'm a sales guy, which I'm not, by the way.
Okay.
If you get a visit from me,
Yeah.
and you talk to me for an hour,
Yeah.
and then I forget everything you told me. Like, what's your favorite charity? What's your favorite restaurant? What are your hobbies? What kind of jet are you looking at?
Yeah.
What competition are you looking at? All that information. The salesperson leaves and it gets lost because they don't record it properly, or
If
they
you don't
only
write it
record
down, it'll be
half
hard
of
to remember it.
That's right, and that's what Salesforce is supposed to be for, right?
Yeah.
And some folks, maybe they go on to their next customer and they forget, or they don't have time to write it down. So they want their salespeople to be able to dictate that to their phone on the way out of the customer. And they say, hey, I just met with Joe Blogs, and he did this, and he did that, and he likes this, and he likes that. And that should be stored automatically in Salesforce. And
Yeah.
that was one of their visions. We helped them evolve that vision.
Wow.
So anyway, I built the first prototype of that, right? And
Nice.
it was really so we have this product called MuleSoft, which is our API bridge. It talks to the robots and everything.
Yep.
Look it up, MuleSoft. It's amazing. If you ever want a quick way to connect to anything, including that weather API I was talking about, that's what I do. That's how I cheat, right? So I was calling different large language models, and even calling the same large language models in some cases, and brought the information summarized back and categorized from that large language model. And then I would store it from MuleSoft into Salesforce and categorized it and put it into the right, we call it a custom object or a standard object.
Yeah.
It's like a database table to the tech people on the line there. But so it would create the opportunity, it would create the lead, it would create all the information you need about your customer already built into Salesforce. So they actually, they love that prototype. But what I'm getting to with my wife, back to my wife. So I'm talking to, I said, hey, what's going on? What project you're working on? I said, well, I want to be able to do this call wrap-up app, and I have the prototype of it. She goes, here, let me test it. So my wife takes it, and she starts talking to it, and she completely breaks it. And not only that, she says, this is really stupid what you're doing here, right? This is not what they want to do. This is what they want. And not only did I get feedback from the customer, which I got incredible feedback from the customer, amazing folks over there, amazing vision from them. But my wife is telling me all the dumb things I'm doing, right? Even before I give it to the customer. That's right. So not only is she the love of my life, the mother of my children and my grandchildren, and she just contributes to my job in every way. And the grandkids, they just melt my heart. I mean, my kids, sorry kids, if you're watching. By the way, I do have a kid, both my girls.
Yeah.
My son's a cool dude.
Okay.
But both
what do you
my
mean by cool dude?
My oldest daughter, oldest daughter is a swim coach.
Okay.
And you ever heard of a swimmer, Katie Ledecky? She's an Olympic swimmer.
I have.
Several Olympic gold medals.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, amazing swimmer. She coaches at the club that trained Katie Ledecky at her early days, and my daughter has actually coached Olympians that have gone on to the Olympics, which is hard to do, right? Isn't that incredible? So she's an amazing coach. But my other daughter, Caroline, if you're watching her, she was a school teacher, and she thought she wasn't being appropriately challenged in her career, and she was looking at what I was doing, right? And she said, wow, that's really cool. And then she calls me one day, and she said, this is during COVID, right? Okay. And she's having to enter kids' names into a Google Google Sheet. I don't know, when you were in school, maybe you had to do this. Or if you had symptoms of COVID and you went into school, they had to put you on 2-week quarantine.
They did do that, yeah.
And then they'll log you in some system, right?
I think it was a Google form or something.
There we go. Yeah, all the schools were using it. She said, this is really ridiculous. What? You have this thing called Salesforce, right?
She's like, Dad, you got to help me.
Because I showed her Flow one day. We have this thing called Lightning Flow.
Yeah.
And I showed it to her, and she goes, oh, I could do this, right? So she signed up for a developer org, which you could do, by the way. You can sign up for free on Salesforce for a developer org, and you can build your own app on Salesforce. And she did that, and she built a flow that did exactly that. She checks in the student, has it been 2 weeks? Yes, they're allowed to come back. You send an email notification to the parent and the teacher, or whatever. Yeah. Oh, you're kicking them. So she built all that in a prototype form, and she showed it to the school
with mentorship from you.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, no, I didn't.
You didn't.
I hardly did anything. I said I helped her a couple times. She called, and then she said, "Okay, this is great. I want to be an admin. I love this stuff. This is fun. This is like a puzzle, right?" So she became a Salesforce admin.
So she works at Salesforce?
No, she doesn't work at Salesforce. She works for a Salesforce partner.
Partner.
Yeah. So there's a company called Elevate Actual she went to work for.
Nice.
And they implement higher education, actually normal education, I think mostly higher ed customers.
Yeah.
So like Unity Environmental University,
yep.
I think is what they're, I'm probably going to get myself into trouble here. Sorry, Caroline, I'm getting you in trouble. But she joined what we call our Salesforce Ohana, okay?
Okay, isn't that the top floor? Isn't that what
Well, okay, there's a floor for the Ohana.
Okay, that's Hawaiian.
Okay, now I need to go into this. We have this thing called a 111 program.
A what?
111 program.
Okay, 111.
Mark Benioff,
yep.
the visionary guy I was telling you about earlier,
yep.
right? When he founded the company, he said, I can't just build a profitable company. I have to give back, right? So he decided to allocate 1% of the employees' time, 1% of the profit, and 1% of the product for all of Salesforce, which the number is in hundreds of millions of dollars.
Of course.
Okay. But he jokes that, oh yeah, it was easy to do at the beginning because we had no money, no profit, blah, blah, blah. We had no people. But realistically, the company has given so much back to the community. So why is that called the Ohana floor? That floor, the 60th floor, or 60, whatever. 61st floor, yeah. I always get the floors confused.
It's all good.
Is dedicated to giving back to the community. So they'll have special events up there for nonprofit organizations and things like that. But our Ohana, we call them family, it's Hawaiian for family.
Oh, I see.
Includes people that work in the ecosystem, right? Yeah. So they have they work for a contracting company, an implementer, someone that implements Salesforce, or they'll work for a partner of ours, right? Someone that writes. We have this thing called the App Exchange, which is the Apple App Store for Salesforce, and they'll build an app and put it on our App Store, which is called the App Exchange. So all these people, and there are millions of people out there that are Ohana. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know, but
I'm sure there is.
And we go to these shows, and they sponsor these events called dreaming events.
Dreaming events. Okay.
Yeah, and these are all sponsored by the Ohana. They're not sponsored by Salesforce. They get together, and our partners, they teach each other, right?
Yeah.
They learn new skills, and it's all about giving back to the community. It's just a beautiful thing.
This is really beautiful. The thing I really love about Salesforce is that it's such an iconic company. It makes a lot of money, but also gives back. Like Mark, you were mentioning he donates to UCSF and a bunch of other places. It's great. By the way, Salesforce is one of my favorite tech companies ever. So just having the opportunity to be here today at the actual headquarters in San Francisco at the Tower is really a big deal. So as we wrap up here, Charlie, these are the last two questions that I asked all my guests. The first one is, what is your all-time best advice for teens?
Oh, I already gave that advice. Just keep learning, Keep learning and stay in school. Keep learning all you can, unless you're Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, or maybe you are. Maybe they are.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But it's important to get a good education, and always do the right thing. That's one of the reasons I love Mark Benioff, our CEO. Sometimes things are said. Sometimes people interpret things in a different way, but always do the right thing.
I love that. I feel like you've done that your whole life, and that's how you built such a great career for yourself.
Yeah.
The last question of the day before we wrap up this interview is, what was your favorite part of being guest on the Ochakde show today?
Well, the favorite part was spending time with you because
Thank you.
I love your energy, and it's great that I think our future is in great hands with you and your brother,
Yep.
who's sitting behind the scenes over there. But thank you for including me in your
Of course,
in
yeah,
your
of course.
podcast.
It was truly an honor and privilege to have you on. Thank you. When tech execs support me, it really keeps me going because I love doing stuff like this. My dream is to eventually make this podcast like my full-time career and go to every tech company as possible I can. So, guys, that was Charlie Isaacs. Where can people find you online?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn, and I think my LinkedIn is Charlie Isaacs.
Yep.
And
you're also on
Twitter.
X.
I'm
Yep.
on X. I'm on Instagram, but I don't have very many followers on Twitter.
What are you talking about? You have like you have a big following. You're
On
like a
Instagram?
pretty big spokesperson for Salesforce.
I don't know.
Not Instagram, but you have like 50K on X and like 20K on LinkedIn. That's pretty
Yeah,
remarkable.
whatever. Yeah.
No. Honestly, Salesforce is lucky to have you. Like, I think you're doing wonderful work, and I've been inspired.
How much do I
by
owe
your
you for
story.
saying that? No.
3-4 million?
There you
Is
go.
that doable?
Yeah. You're talking to the wrong guy. No.
No. I'm just messing. This was really a fun interview. Thank you so much for the advice you gave to the teens. I love what you said about doing the right thing and staying in school. What's great advice. For everyone listening, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you're inspired from my podcast and my amazing guests to go for it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.